Before we get started in today's show, I want to tell you about Stamps.com, longtime sponsor of the BS Report. It's quick, it's convenient. More importantly, it's really, really easy to use. You do not have to go to the post office anymore. You can just stay home. Make your own office, your personal post office. You can avoid lines. You can avoid just standing there as somebody mails some package, some 79-year-old lady. Who needs that? Make your own mailing and shipping from your house. Stamps.com. Put in the top right of the site, BS. You'll get a deal and a scale and a whole bunch of other things. It's a great product. You can buy and print official U.S. postage using your computer and printer. Stamps.com will give you a digital scale. It will automatically calculate the exact postage for any letter, any package. They'll even help you choose the best class of mail. Wow. Why go to the post office? Just give it to the postman. Stamps.com. Check it out.
The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The BS Report. The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report. Another hazy day here in Southern California. Monday morning, coming off NFL Week 8. I got destroyed with my picks yesterday to nobody's surprise. Anytime I have a book tour or a TV show or whatever is going on, my picks always stink. So I apologize, America. Coming off an incredible 58-0 stretch over the 4 weeks when I wasn't writing my column. So you can't stay hot for that long, Sal.
No, you can't. Can we get a transcript of your last list of excuses? Because I could read it over and over and over. You have a book tour now? What is this?
I will. What I'll do is I'll compile all the excuses and I'll mail them to you. And you can read them next week. Yeah, they're pretty good. There's some good ones. Yeah, I did not put a ton of time in last week's picks, and they show. But we also had some weird games and some weird events. And of course, you went to one of them. You flew to Cleveland this weekend, and for some reason, because you wanted to see the Browns and Raiders play football in person.
I did? I thought that was just a dream.
No, that really happened.
I really did. Well, our friend Alec, who we met in Dallas, was like Jerry Jones' lead counsel, is now the president of the Browns, and he's been begging me to come out, and I finally did. And I got to say, it was great. It really was. He treated us well. I want to thank him. And we, it's one thing you go to Dallas and you see the new stadium, and it's like being on the set of the new Star Wars, and there's going to be nothing like it. But you go good old-fashioned hometown football rooting in Cleveland. There's nothing like that either. And they're really interested in the team, and almost all the fans were rooting for the home team. That was preposterous to me. It took a while to get used to, but it was a lot of fun.
And not a game you'll tell your grandkids about.
No, it wasn't a terrific game. What would you want to tell everyone your text that you sent me, in the fourth quarter? What
was it? I don't even remember.
You said, I don't have a TV small enough for this game.
Yeah. There's only 3 games. And that was one of the games. And it was like, wow, I wish I could downgrade to maybe an iPad screen or cell phone.
Yeah.
It was horrible. The Raiders really might go 0-16. I was looking at their schedule, and it's not looking good.
I wasn't sure if we had touched on their schedule last year, but they may have to go until December before they find a winnable game.
Wasn't that a bet? I thought for sure before the year, will anyone go 16-0, and will anyone go 0-16? Were 2 bets that were actually on the docket. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what were the odds? Do you remember?
It was 8 to 1. It wasn't that good. But yeah, at Seattle, Denver, at San Diego, home for Kansas City, maybe a chance at St. Louis, and then all of a sudden you're in December, San Fran at KC, Buffalo, and Denver. So that's a rough stretch for them.
They're going to lose the next 3. You missed it because you were on the East Coast or Midwestern time or whatever it is in Cleveland. But the Detroit Atlanta early game was just incredible. I woke up.
Yeah.
My wife was away this weekend. I was in charge of the kids. Made them come with me to get coffee. Came back. They settled in. They made cereal. Just kind of hanging out. And I'm like, man, this is nice. I wish there was something to watch. And then I remembered that game was on. It was halftime. It was 21-0. It was 8 a.m. I was like, what is going on? And it was a good comeback by the Lions. And then quite possibly a career-ending coaching performance by Mike Smith in the last few minutes of that game. Really awful. Awful.
I mean, where do you want to start? If he kneels 3 times with 2:10 left they win the game, right? Instead, you get the now it's not so rare, the holding call when teams are trying to run out the clock, which stops the clock, and then just passing on 3rd and 10, and it just opens the doors wide open for Detroit after that. Just terrible.
The passing on 3rd and 10 was really, really incredible.
Oh, God.
It was incredible. Everything was incredible. You left out. So they took it to 2-minute warning. They had first down on like the 45 or something, 2-minute warning, and Detroit only had one timeout left. I think it's almost statistically impossible to lose the game at that point, and they did. And it was probably fireable. I don't know if he'll get fired, but it was, considering everything else that's going on, probably fireable.
Right.
They're in a bye week this week too.
Well,
So,
I mean, now this is the 3rd game in London, and you really could have fired all 3. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The 3rd game is in a couple weeks, Dallas and Jacksonville, and there could be 3 coaches fired. You could just send them all to Butler School in London, and the Raiders coach and Mike Smith, and the Jaguars coach Bradley. It could be gone. I don't know. Something has to be done.
So we have a bye week.
But the main point is, though, they have us sucked in the NFL. We're going to see these London games. I think the ratings were pretty good for a game that only 15% would have seen, if it was nationally anyway, if you didn't have DirecTV. But I think we're sucked in, and, I think we're going to see a 6:30 a.m. Pacific game in 3 years every week, whether there's a team out there or not.
I love it. I fully support it. I think it's a great idea. There's too many games on in the early games. There's too many to keep track of, and I like it. If they want to have 8 London games a year and start all of them at 6:30 in the morning West Coast time, I fully support it. You have my support.
The only thing is they sucked us into watching, which is fine, but they also sucked us into betting the Lions because there was no reason that they shouldn't have covered against Atlanta. If you look back at the last month,
I know.
Of course they didn't cover. And all of a sudden you see Detroit's got 3 tight ends out, and they have no talent at the position. The position players, nothing. But what are you going to do?
So the bye weeks: Atlanta, Buffalo, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, and Tennessee. It's interesting. Atlanta, Chicago, and Tennessee, I would say really, really, really needed a bye week. So
yeah, right.
And then Green Bay, Rodgers got hurt last night, and that I thought changed the course of that game a little bit. And some weird stuff by Mike McCarthy, just in general. The 4th and 1 on their own 40. I don't mind going for it. I just didn't like the play.
What was the play? I can't remember now. What was it?
It was so forgettable. I don't even remember.
No, they didn't
it was like fullback dive. I mean, God.
You give it to a guy who hasn't touched the ball all game, and it rarely works.
You're down 7 in the Super Bowl, in the Superdome, in the second half. Yeah. If you don't get that play, you lose the game. I think we all watching that game. Anyone watching that game thought the game was over when they didn't get that first down. I'm running my best play. If I'm doing that, I'm like, I have 3 plays during the entire season that I know I have in my hip pocket for moments like this. I'm now using one of those 3 plays right here. And instead they ran a terrible play and they deserve to lose. I don't feel bad for them.
Right. Go ahead.
Thursday night, Saints-Panthers.
Well, yeah. I mean, now the Saints thing, now we're confused because is Ingram going to run like Jim Brown every game? Like, that's a different story now. This is a different team if that's the case. Or is it just the Saints don't lose at home kind of thing? But what do you say for a line here?
I have the Saints giving 2.5 in Carolina.
All right, you're going to get this, so see if you can follow this. Carolina had opened -2. Carolina was -2. And it went to +1.5. So the Saints were giving 1.5. And I had Carolina giving 3. So I was way off. Way off. You're up 1-0.
Carolina's not very good at football. And I actually thought that was a bad win for Seattle yesterday. They just didn't look good. And Seattle has not played a good game since week 1.
No.
Beating Denver was impressive in OT, but even that one, they just seem off. They've seemed off the entire season. And
well, they got rid of 2 of their better defensive players, and then they have like Maxwell and Chancellor are banged up, like they're playing at 80%. And all this other stuff in the clubhouse is bad too. So I don't know if they rebound. They have some tough games on their schedule. That was big. That was a big win on the road, but
they're 4-3. They're on the cusp. I don't know what happens with that team. The Saints are 3-4, and do you feel like this is a must-win for them in Carolina?
I think they win the division if they win this game, because I think they're going to start winning all their games at home again. So they'll beat Carolina at home, and now if they have a 1-game lead on Carolina or 1.5, whatever it is, with the tie, I think they could wrap up the division this week.
How crazy is it?
And by the way, we apologize to anyone for wasting 2 minutes of anyone's life trying to convince ourselves that Tampa Bay had a shot at winning the NFC South. As pitiful as it is, that is a horrible team. Should we go over our teams that are eliminated from the playoffs? Because I'm throwing Tampa in there now.
Yeah, let's throw in Tampa. That's fine.
Jets, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Raiders, Tampa. Anyone else? Washington after tonight?
Rams,
huh? Yeah. All right. I'll throw the Rams in there too.
Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, we had the Titans. So Jets, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Raiders, Rams, Tampa Bay, possibly Washington.
You know what's crazy? If Prater misses that field goal, Atlanta is 3-4 and right in the middle of the NFC South title race, and that team stinks.
Right.
I mean, that is a 2-6 team is generous for them.
As far as like gambling goes, Atlanta, I think I want to call them like the fantasy phonies. Like, we bet on Atlanta and Chicago like 3 weeks more than we should because of their fantasy players, and they're really not that good. Is there another team like that? I don't know. I think it might just be those two, but those two for sure.
Bears, definitely.
Yep.
I like your two. I think those are the right choices.
Yeah. I mean, someone like Minnesota has much more value than those two gambling, but should we go to some? Okay.
I'm not ready to throw a party for Minnesota yet. I mean, they blew a lead. It went to OT, and they got a fumble touchdown.
Right. Wow, that's weird. You're singing a whole different tune there to me than when you called me yesterday. Strange.
I called you about Minnesota, Tampa Bay?
Well, kinda. Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me see if I have that call. Let me pull it up. Cousin Sal, sports guy here. I'm getting pretty loaded. My third fuzzy navel, watching a Party of 5 marathon on my iPad. Life is perfect. And figured as good a time as any to come clean. All those stories came out about my former boyfriend, Russell and Hustle Man Muscle Wilson, who unceremoniously walked out on our love affair last week because of a misunderstanding. And these stories that got leaked to the media, well, I got one word about it. Oops, that was me. And that's what you get, Russell. I can't tell if that's an either-or win or an ass-kicking win for me, but either way, it's a win. And now I got my sights set on Teddy, always steady and ready, Manny Petty Bridgewater, who led the Vikings to an overtime victory against the mighty Buccaneers. He's a fine specimen of a man, and I will have him. You watch. Sports guy over and out. Bojan Bogdanovic.
Wow.
There you go. That's your new guy.
No, he's really not. I'm not really into Teddy. No, I'm not. I don't really have a favorite QB right now. I don't have a favorite random QB.
He played with gloves on yesterday, Bridgewater.
I wasn't really into it.
And Tampa, 80 degrees.
I really enjoy watching Andrew Luck, even though he lost yesterday. Andrew Luck, he was down 3 touchdowns in that game, and I was totally into it and totally expected him to come back.
Yeah, you didn't think they were ever out of it.
No, it's like, it's 51-10. I still think he can bring him back.
Yeah, that's
I enjoy Andrew Luck
for that team. I was singing their accolades, praises about their defense and how tough-nosed they are against Cincinnati, and that defense was awful against the Steelers. Can't believe it.
I was thinking about it. So we're through 8 weeks of the season, right? Has everybody played one crap game now except for Denver?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the Colts, they were just due to have a bad game.
Yeah.
I almost want to factor that into when we're gambling next year or something, try to figure out like, all right, it's been 8 weeks. Who hasn't sucked in a game yet?
Right. All
But
right. We go to
by the way,
yeah.
Talking about my favorites, you know how much I love Rob Gronkowski.
He's back. I mean, that's when you want him. He's firing on all cylinders going into the Denver game. It's perfect for you, isn't it?
And you traded him to me.
Oh yeah,
he's now the best player on my terrible West Coast fantasy team. So he had like 35 points this week.
Well,
thank you for that.
I gave him to you for nothing. Josh Gordon, who knows if he'll ever play again for the Browns. He has to keep his nose clean for another 4 weeks. But yeah, that was a gift for you. I forgot. I felt bad about the suspension, so I just gave you Gronkowski.
I appreciate.
That's what a good pals do, don't they?
Well, you like Travis Kelce.
That's right. Yeah, he was.
You enjoyed his work.
He's okay. He had a TD called back yesterday, or was that the half-yard line? He's all right.
Yeah. All right, Sunday's games. Not a lot of them.
Arizona, no, I love it. There's 7 early games. It's great because there's 6 teams off. That's just how I want it. Arizona at Dallas.
Like that Arizona team, man. That team takes care of business at home.
Yeah. It's almost anywhere they take care of business. It's tough to bet against.
I had trouble with this one. I don't know if Vegas believes in Arizona on the road yet. And I think Dallas, assuming they kill Washington tonight, which I actually like Washington with the points in that game. It just seemed too high. But I have the Cowboys by 6.
You know what? I had the same thing with exactly the same reasoning. I didn't think Vegas trusted Arizona on the road. But it is 6-1 versus 6-1, or whatever Dallas will be after tonight, and it's -4.5.
Okay.
We tie that one, and I'm kind of terrified at how low that is. You know, you call that the Vegas zone, and that's never a good sign for gamblers.
Fair enough. The Cards are a really well-coached team, and they have a bunch of guys who can make big plays.
Yeah. Yep.
They have 3 big play guys, which is a lot.
You want to make fun of Carson Palmer, but yeah, then like a John Brown comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're losing a game you can't win. And
that throw was
that was a great throw. That was a Willie Mays catch too.
It was great. That was one of the best flip the game around touchdowns we've had in a while.
Yeah. I was in the Browns luxury right next to the owner's box. Our friend Alec hooked up. I couldn't quite sit with the owner, but he had me in the box next to it. And the Browns they were kind of running out the clock. There's 4 minutes left, so the Arizona over Philly was my Sports Center best bet. And when Palmer connected with John Brown, I screamed in the box, and he opened the door. He's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, I didn't have the heart to tell him I was watching another game on my phone. But, yeah, that was the case. I admit it.
That's great. You went undefeated on SportsCenter on Friday.
I did, 3-0. Back on fire. I don't know what's going on.
On fire. You and Neil Everett. You're America's favorite couple. What else do we have?
Speaking of Cleveland, Tampa Bay at Cleveland.
Oh, God.
4-3 Browns, 1-6 Buccaneers.
Holy mackerel. I got Browns by 7.
I hit this exactly. It's 6.5 right now. Opened at 6.5. Still 6.5. We should maybe tease that.
I might be done with gambling this year. I can't figure out some of these teams. No, I've had it.
I don't want to hear this. I really don't.
Had it with this stuff.
You're outrageous. Can I just ask you this? Because I think you'll like this, and I'm not going to phrase it the right way, but is there a better situation than being a 9-year-old in Cleveland right now from a sports perspective? I like Manziel and LeBron James, and that's it. Every kid out there loves those two. One of them isn't even playing yet. And even my son, I live in L.A., and my son wants LeBron posters, and we had to get Madden 25 so he could update it so Manziel could be the quarterback of Cleveland. Has there ever been a situation in the last 25 years for one town where there's two guys that stand out the most? What would it be, Nomar and Brady 10 years ago? Or I can't even think. What are the two?
I'm
Jeter
biased,
and Eli Manning? I don't know.
I'm biased, but if you're a Boston kid that was 6 years old in '99 for the first 2 Pedro seasons,
yeah,
And then you had the Super Bowl when you're like 8 or 9, and then just every team starts ripping off titles from that point on. You get to watch Brady in his prime and all that stuff. I would think that would be way up there.
Definitely, but the Red Sox memorabilia was split between Nomar and Pedro and who else?
True.
Would it be? Like, you know, so
well,
Nomar
was insanely popular. Nomar was the guy in Boston for 3 years. Even as great as Pedro was, people loved Nomar. They loved yelling Nomar. They loved everything about it, and they were all in on that dude. When he hurt his wrist, it was like people almost didn't go to work that day. Yeah, I'm happy for the Cleveland people.
Josh Freeman and Evan Longoria, maybe. I don't know. I can't find another duo. Yeah, no, they're psyched over there. All right, Jets and Chiefs.
Man, Gino, it looks like it's over.
It's gotta be, right?
Looks like it's over. I thought they should have and could have beaten the Bills yesterday if he's even like a B- in that game. And instead he was just awful. And when your quarterback is that bad, the whole team gives up. It's just that's how it goes. You
see Eric Decker's quote? I kind of like it. It's like a throwback from the 60s quote. It said, we're not a bad team. We just do stupid stuff.
Yeah, that was funny. I enjoyed that. He also had like a chopping wood thing too, right?
Yeah, I forgot what that was. Yeah. We just do stupid stuff, like drafting Geno Smith.
He's kind of like, I look at Eric Decker, it's like if Guillermo left Kimmel's show and was just on like the worst possible Univision sitcom and was just like, oh, what did I do? What am I doing? Why did I do that? That's Eric Decker.
Now watch them beat the Chiefs. Watch them. This is where they sneak up. And God forbid you ever take them as a favorite at home, but they could sneak up on you on the road. What do you think the line is?
I have Chiefs by 8.5.
You got me. I said 8, opened at 9.5. It's 10 now.
Ooh.
You get
10.
That one.
It's a little zesty.
I think Vegas is they're taking Vegas to the poorhouse. Chiefs are 6-1, I believe, against the spread.
Yeah. You know, we should keep an eye on this for next season. The team that sucks in week 1, it's like almost like throws everyone off the scent. And it happened twice. It happened with the Cowboys. It happened with the Chiefs.
Right.
Threw everyone off the scent in week 1. And I mean, even last week, even yesterday, I took the Rams in that Chiefs game. I thought the Chiefs were one of the best 12 teams in the league. I wasn't totally sold that they take care of business in a home game yet. And they're really good, and they have playmakers, and they're well coached, and it's a solid team.
They are good. If Andy Reid can get out of his own way, and he's a large man, if he could do it, they have a nice future this year, I think.
Well, they have. There's a nice setup for them with where they would be the lead wild card potentially if they can jump the Chargers. So they'd be the 5 seed. They'd be playing the worst division champ in round 1. Be very similar to last season.
So the worst division champ is
probably be Baltimore, right?
AFC North, just because they beat each other up. Yeah.
Right. So it's like KC going into Baltimore.
Right.
Probably 2.5 point underdogs. Assuming
that's fine.
And then the Ravens. I like the Ravens at home, so anyway, keep an eye on that. What else do we have?
Well, San Diego. Talk about 5 and 6 seeds. San Diego at Miami. This could be big when we look back at it in terms of the wild card.
Yeah, Saints, Panthers, and Dolphins, Chargers. The first 2 playoff implication games of the year were only in week 9.
Yep.
I have the Dolphins by. Normally, I would say Dolphins by 3, but the Chargers have a lot of stuff going on from an injury standpoint, and I'm bumping that to 3.5.
Oh, good. All right, I get this one. I said 1, and it's only 1.5.
Really?
Very low. Well, San Diego's got 5 wins. I know, and the Dolphins don't seem to have much of a home court advantage there, you know.
I know, but on a neutral field, I think I would have the Dolphins favored right now against this Chargers team.
It should be higher. Also, the west to east thing, it should be higher.
Chargers are banged up. They have a lot of injuries.
Trying to suck us. Yeah, 10 days rest though, but the west to east thing is never good.
I think that bumps.
Yeah.
I think that bumps up to 3 at some point. What else do we have?
Washington and Minnesota.
Oh, God.
2-5 Washington Redskins. Maybe, hopefully 2-6 against the 3-5 Vikings.
I'm going Vikes by 3.
Yeah, you got it. I don't know why I went low here. I said 2, but it is exactly 3. Good stay away.
Yeah.
God bless.
Well, we had 2 of those games yesterday, right? We had Bucks, Vikings, stupid game to be involved with on either side. And then what was the other terrible game? Oh, Texans, Titans. It's like you put 2 below average teams against each other. You know what's
Yeah,
wrong.
but that was dumb on our part. We should have. Why, if a team is 3 against I don't care where it is, against a brand new quarterback, Houston's defense is going to get up. J.J. Watt's going to make one big play, and that could be it for them. We should have just loaded up on the Texans.
I know, but on the flip side, and I made this point in my Friday picks column. Yeah, you're right. J.J. Watt against a rookie quarterback, you load up. But on the flip side, you're loading up on Ryan Fitzpatrick on the road, and it was the same logic for the Giants game in week 3 or week 4, and Fitzpatrick just single-handedly murdered them in that game. So
Yep.
I don't trust that guy at all. I'm not loading up on Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, but now we know Arian Foster might be the best running back in the NFL. I mean, it's just as good as October's DeMarco Murray, I think. So it might not matter as much what Fitzpatrick does. But the bookies gave us an easy early slate yesterday. It's not often that the bad teams get blown out. And Kansas City blew out St. Louis, and what else? Miami beat up Jacksonville, and there was another early one that was bad. Oh, Houston, Tennessee. So those are the 3.
Yeah. But I didn't know Houston. I thought Houston might be a bad team too, though. I guess is my point.
Yeah.
I still don't know. That's all.
It might be all right. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. 1-7 Jags. 4-2-1 Bengals.
You could have talked me in anything from 10.5 to 13.5, and I decided to go with Bengals by 11.
I get it. I said 11.5, and it's 12.5. It opened at 13.
Right. Not surprised.
And I think it's too high.
It's too high.
Kind of think, they play at a level of competition the Bengals do.
I also think when you're a bad team, you're almost better off playing on the road.
Yeah. I was watching. Miami had the ball on offense for 12 plays in the first half, and the Jaguars still couldn't capitalize. They're a mess.
That's true.
Philly at Houston. I like this game. I don't know what to do with it, but I like it.
I got Texans by 2.5.
Oh, all right. I get this. I said Philly by 1.5. It's Philly by 2.5.
Wow. I was 5 points off.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I can't say I understand that one.
Well, Philly, they ended up a favorite over Arizona right before kickoff. They were a 1-point favorite. So if you go by that logic, maybe that makes a little sense.
So
But
Philly,
I wouldn't want to bet against Foster right now.
Philly's played 3 road games. The first one, they should have lost to the Colts and would have if they get the pass interference call. They come back and they win that. The second one, they lose in San Francisco.
Right.
Third one, they lose in Arizona. So they really could be 0-3 in the road. With their 1 pass interference call away from being 0-3 in the road. Although you could argue they're also 1 Carson Palmer bomb away from being 2-1 in the road.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't understand. They take their whole schedule. I can't tell if they've been lucky. It seemed like they were getting very lucky to win in the first 3 or 4 games, and now it's turned around. They should be winning these games they're losing. I don't know. I would have gone for it on 4th and inches at the 1. I know you want to kick a field goal, go up 3, but
I would have gone for it too.
There at the 1 there.
I would always go for it on 4th and 1 in the goal line.
Right.
Always.
I'm up 5-4 going into the late afternoon games. There are 3. St. Louis at San Francisco.
Oh, I'm hitting this one exactly.
You bet.
Niners. You hit it exactly?
Yep.
Niners by 6.5.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Simmons. 10 is the number.
Really?
Yeah.
What am I missing with the Niners? Are we supposed to think the Niners are good?
Coming off a break, they beat them 31-17 on that stupid Monday night game that no one wanted to cover 2 weeks ago. And it might be too high, but I don't know, 6.5.
Trying to think. The Niners.
Big Long is. I know they lost guys. The Rams. They didn't look good yesterday. They kind of suck overall.
Niners. You beat the Cowboys by 11. Or I'm sorry, the Niners. They beat the Cowboys by 11. Barely beat the Eagles. Barely beat the Chiefs. Won against the Rams 31-17, but they were down by 2 touchdowns in that game.
Right.
It's not a team that's been, they haven't blown anyone out yet, put it that way.
It's going to be interesting.
According to my notes, they do not have an ass-kicking win yet through 8 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no ass-kicking wins for them.
Wait a minute. The Cowboys was an ass-kicking win.
No, they won by 11. It was a legitimate win. It wasn't an ass kicking. You didn't leave that game going, no. Did you feel like it was an ass kick?
The first week when they beat the Cowboys, they were up by like 21 the first half, and then they let them come back. They didn't care. Yeah,
you had a lot of momentum in the second half.
I didn't think we were going to win our next 6. That's for sure.
You give that. So you felt like your ass was kicked after week 1.
That's an ass kicking win. I felt demoralized. There was a lot wrong with that team afterwards.
Okay, I'm gonna change it in my notes.
You got to change that.
Okay, I changed it.
Ass kicking as it gets. Denver at New England. This is it. Manning Brady 16. You're nervous.
I don't like it. I think they're favored by 3, the Broncos.
That's what I thought. And they made it 3.5. Kind of scary.
I'm going to say this about my beloved New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very good pass defense. I don't totally know why, because I can't even name who our best pass rusher is without Chandler Jones. But we get pressure on the QB for whatever reason, and we can cover. And
that'll help.
That's going to help against Denver. More importantly, the last 3 seasons, no matter who else has been playing on the offense other than Brady, when Gronkowski is 100%, the Patriots can score at home against any team in the league.
And for those reasons, we are teasing them getting 9.5 at home. With who, I don't know. But
when Gronkowski is 100%, that whole offense falls into place. And when they can protect just enough where you can kind of space him out and play him as a receiver a couple times and move him around and do some stuff with him over keeping him in to pass block or run block, the team, multiple games over the last 3 years, I would say we're in double figures with games over 38 to 40 points.
Right.
If he's healthy, we have a chance against that Denver team.
I agree. The only thing I don't like is that you're confident.
I'm not confident. I think Denver should be favored, and I wrote on Friday, I don't think Denver's going to lose again this season except for one of those San Diego KC road games.
How many more Brady Mannings are there? 2 or 3 or fewer?
Depends who gets hurt.
It could be the last one. Yeah, it could be the last one. They should play that up as the last one.
Just for the record, the Pats the last 4 weeks, 43 points, 37 points, 27 points, 51 points.
I hear you. That Pats-Bears game, I didn't know what to do with it. I said, it's going to be a blowout one way or another. And I'm going to pick the wrong side. Did you have New England there?
No, I had Chicago. I just thought it was going to be a lot like how that Steelers Colts game played out. Just both teams scoring relentlessly. And I don't know. I don't really know what the Bears were doing. I would have just run Forte and done a lot of screens with him. Like, that was a Forte game. Forte should have annihilated us in that game, and they got away from him, I guess, for whatever reason.
Well, they're fantasy phonies. That's what they are. They don't play good defense anymore. That's for sure.
Body language was awful in that game.
Yeah. When it's Seattle, 0-7 versus 4-3.
God, I don't care how bad Seattle's playing. I don't see how this is less than 13 with the 12th man. Seattle by 13.
You should have gone higher. I said 14. It opened at 14.5, and now it's 15.
That's too high.
And now we think it's too high.
It's really high.
Do you believe that Gruden said or believes that he would only come back for the Raiders job?
Did he say that?
Yeah. It was out all day yesterday. He told a close friend that he would only come back for the Raiders job.
He told a close friend. Oh, it must be true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see how that could be. Unless they move to LA. Sunday night, Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
I don't believe any secondhand stuff I hear about anything after my experiences over the last 6 weeks. I just think it's very easy for things to take a life of their own and for false stuff to get out there.
Well,
if I could speak from firsthand experience on anything, it would be that.
I believe all of it, including what everyone writes about you. So I'm on the other side of it. Baltimore.
Yeah.
Hey, I hit a future bet. I had 5-2 odds that a quarterback would throw for 500 plus yards. I had nothing on it, but that's a good bet. I bet those. And of course, Roethlisberger shattered that. So that's a good one to watch out for next year.
The Seahawks have only won one game by more than 10 points this season. Week 1, Packers 36-16. But
Did you feel that Lynch dropped that pass on purpose, the one that ended up being picked by Carolina at the goal line?
Look, I think Pete Carroll's a peacetime president. I think that the weirder this team gets, the worse that is for them. I watched it happen with the Patriots in the late 90s.
Yeah. A lot of tough games on that schedule.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday night, Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. I got this one. Steelers by 2.5. Done. Boom. Nailed it.
Yeah, I said that too, and it's 1.5.
Ooh. Okay.
You know what? I'm going to label the AFC North the Uncle Frank the Cop division because you're crazy if you get involved in betting. My Uncle Frank was a cop for 20 years in New York. On the force, he made 6 arrests in 20 years. And his motto was don't get involved. Like if he's purse snatching or something, he was drinking coffee in a coffee shop, he just wouldn't go after it. So that's as a gambler, you should not get involved. I mean, for you to think that you could pick this Baltimore-Pittsburgh game or yesterday's Cincinnati-Baltimore game, it's all luck. That's a coin flip. Let them beat each other up.
I wasn't right on a lot last week, but I was right in this sense. I felt like I don't think the Ravens are better than Cincy, but Cincy needed and wanted that game more. And their season was over if they lost it. That was the only reason I picked them. I didn't know if they were better or not. It's just like
you like that call, the Steve Smith Sr. call, the pass interference? Everyone's saying it's the right call, but
I liked it because I picked the Bengals. If I had picked the Ravens and wagered on them, I would have gone nuts.
And speaking of going nuts, I'm surprised he didn't go nuts, Steve Smith. Like it was ticky tack, if anything. But
here's what bothered me, and I know they can't incorporate this in the instant replay. They had the one shot of him making the catch and the push off, but they had the shot. It was the whole Bengals sideline in the background.
Oh,
and when he pushed off, none of the Bengals went crazy.
No.
It wasn't like they saw it happen in real time, and none of them, like, sometimes you'll see that on the sideline. They'll go nuts when they feel like there's been an infraction. And that time they didn't. And that made me think,
he was so turned around and was so not going to make a play on that ball. And then he fell out of frame. And I thought the pass interference was going the other way because he was so out of the play. But
it was a big play for historical purposes because if Flacco had completed that pass, he would have passed Roger Staubach on the all-time list of most pull a throw out of your ass throws that where you just heave it downfield and something good happened. I'm just he would have passed Staubach. They're still tied though. They're still tied.
Eli Manning shattered that mark 6 years ago. What are you talking about?
Eli can't throw it as far as Flacco and Staubach.
Speaking of Colts Monday night at Giants. 5-3 Colts, 3-4 Giants after a bye.
I love the Colts in this game. I'm not giving up on the Colts. I think they were just due for a bad game. I still believe in that team. I have the Colts by 1.5.
Wow. No, you're going to get this. This is bizarre. I had the Colts by 6, and it's 3.5. Why isn't it 6?
Because they gave up 51 points yesterday?
We take you now to the comments of Andrew the Giant. Look, Andrew, the betting public is wondering, why are you only giving 3.5 to the struggling Giants on the road when you were favored by 4.5 against the surging Steelers yesterday? Your comments.
Well, look, we did not play a good football game yesterday. We just didn't, and I think you give up 51 points on the road, and you got a lot of questions you got to answer, and I don't blame Vegas one bit for that line.
All right, wow.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Andrew the Giant selling his team short there. I like that.
Oh, you missed the wrestling pay-per-view last night.
I did. I know. How was it? Hell in the Cell, right?
Wrestling's in real trouble with the current cast. They've had too many injuries and defections, and they're just trying to figure out all these different ways to juggle the same 5 guys who are relevant at this point.
And they had Cena and Orton fight for the 137th time this month.
Cena and Orton have fought so many times that even my son won't watch Cena and Orton on YouTube anymore. He watched the last night pay-per-view, but there's 100 YouTube fights of them already. And then Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, which had a ton of potential, but they had, like, haven't we had enough with the whole stretcher bit? Oh, both guys, they're going to get carried out of the stretcher. Gee, I wonder if one of them is going to come off the stretcher and attack the other guy, because that never happens.
Yeah, right.
And then had the ridiculous, one of my all-time wrestling pet peeves is when the lights in the arena go out. And it's such a cop-out. Come on. Don't turn the lights off, and then you come back. Oh, there's Bray Wyatt in the ring, and there's a ghost, and oh my God, I can't believe it. I don't like that. I didn't like that. Who has the authority
to get the lights taken off? Like,
right.
I can't even turn the light off in the kitchen when I want to settle in at night with the old lady yelling at me. Like, who could get the whole arena shut down just because they wanted it at the perfect time?
I don't mind suspending belief when I'm watching wrestling, but when you're convincing me that Bray Wyatt's going to get all of the lights turned off in the arena, so is Bray Wyatt in the Superdome for that Super Bowl? Like, come on.
Right.
Come on. And then they're having this ridiculous feud between the two sisters, the evil sister and the good sister, and that's just dragging on endlessly. And I don't know. It's in a tough spot right now.
CM Punk needs to come back. Brock Lesnar is not there. I mean, he's only going to defend his title like every 3 months, so he can't really be champion. If we're going to talk about this candidly.
Well, no, they're in a real issue. They don't have Daniel Bryan, who's been hurt twice. They lost CM Punk. They lost Roman Reigns until WrestleMania. Right. And this is the first time in 2 years where I feel like my son doesn't totally care if he knows what's going on, because there's only 4 guys to follow.
Yeah, my kid's kind of dropped out too. I feel bad, but it's now
it'll come back.
Yeah,
it's cyclical. It'll come back. They just
here's the problem with it though. Like, and I guess it doesn't matter for young kids, but now there's enough reports that Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in March or April. So nothing's going to happen title-wise until then, I think, unless they really change it up. But
they lucked out with Dean Ambrose. He's like a cross between. He looks like Corey Feldman. It's just hard not to see Corey Feldman every time you see him wrestle, which I really enjoy.
Oh yeah.
It's a great character, and the Rollins thing has been good, but it's tough. My kids were watching the wrestling on one TV, and I was kind of monitoring Saints Packers on another one, and going back and forth. There was just nothing really going on, so they need to shake something up.
What a sad statement that is. That you were switching between football and wrestling, and we have 18-1 odds on the Kansas City Royals. A gift to our listeners, by the way, telling them we did not hedge, and now it's not looking good for us.
You know why I didn't totally watch that game last night?
Why?
Because there was no way Bumgardner was doing anything other than just throwing zeros. It was like I watched one inning. I'm like, okay. We're going back to Kansas City 3-2. He was not getting touched last night. And
you switch back. There's no one on base. Like oh, look at this. The 1 and 2,
it's not going to
no one
happen.
on base.
Yeah, they weren't touching him last night, and it was like I had it taped. I had the Saints Packers on. I was taping the Royals game in case anything crazy happened. And then when Ned Yost did his whole thing in the 7th, 8th inning, I'd rewound and watch that part. But the Royals weren't winning last night. It wasn't happening.
I think we're getting to a 7th game, and I think we will not hedge even then.
No.
And we'll lose. That'll be that.
So, last point on wrestling.
Yeah.
It's been rumored and discussed for months and years, and people have been waiting for it, and I know all the reasons why they can't do it. But if there was ever a time for John Cena to become a bad guy, it's right now.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they can do short term that could save the winter for the WWE.
I see why they can't do it, and I see why there's no way they shouldn't do it. You know, like, what do you do with all the Make-A-Wish stuff? You know, he's going to turn heel and start beating up on good guys. That's where he's the moneymaker.
I know, but man, you look at what happened with Hollywood Hogan in the mid 1990s, and that guy, everybody was burned out on that guy, and he became a bad guy, and it single-handedly rejuvenated everything. That led to the Monday Night Wars and everything, and it added this last chapter to his career that was awesome. And I do feel like Cena's at that point.
I like it too. I also think they should bring back Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That couldn't hurt.
Just answer yourself this: what is getting me to watch Monday Night Raw tonight? What is the storyline that I'm like, you know what?
How do you watch it? Because I'm interested. Like, I fast forward through a lot of
it's a total fast forward.
12 minutes. So what do you watch then if you fast forward? Like, I kind of like, because now you know the setup. Like, every match goes to commercial and then comes back for like 3 or 4 minutes. So I watch like the last 2 minutes of that 3 to 4 minutes after commercial.
I watch the last act unless my son's getting into it. But now that hockey started, my son's watching hockey.
There you go. But you got to let him know that hockey isn't real.
He thinks wrestling is real and hockey's real. So he's 1 for 2.
God bless
anyway,
him.
the Cuz, look forward to your Sports Center picks Friday, late Thursday night, Friday morning. What else you got?
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Melissa McCarthy tonight, Frank Grillo, Billy Idol, Rebel Yell in the big parking lot here. Later in the week, Nicole Kidman, Will Arnett, Andy Samberg, Rosie Perez. I'm at the Cousin Sal. Grantland Thursday. I had under 105.5 yards for Demaryius Thomas. He had 105 yards. How about that? Luck is on my side, and 3-0 with Sports Center. Yep, excellent. Thursday night and Friday morning on the East Coast.
The Cuz. Good job by you.
Good job by you, Billy.
Target the sign off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.